Okey-dokey.
Susan.
Has joined.
Let the minutes reflect that we are now back in open session. The closed session has been concluded by agreement of the parties. No matters were discussed other than the potential purchase of particular real estate for which closed session was taken. No votes were taken or any other action. There being no further discussion, is there a motion to end the closed session? So right at the end of that one, it always hits you right there.
I told you, keep reading.
Yeah, well, I didn't read far enough.
Far enough.
Let the minutes reflect that Terry Derby did make the motion and Smith had seconded, and it was a unanimous vote. It's almost double talk in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's,
I should see if I can clean any of that up. Like I said, I just used what
well,
I
I'm trying to make a
inherited.
mental note of it for the future here, that bottom line is what it always gets you, because up here it sounds like we
You
should
do.
go back in open session.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Well, we should
actually
probably
take
move
this.
on now.
All right. I'll move on to number 3, discussion with possible action regarding Roger Cruz land and fees.
So the questions were, when can we start assessing the fees?
Yeah, and so I haven't been terribly involved in this, but my understanding is you guys had extended the original deadline to February 16th.
We gave them what we considered a waiver,
Okay.
Grace period.
grace period, yeah.
With
Okay,
the understanding that action will be taken, but it wasn't, so does it start where we gave him the grace period to, or?
That was the original deadline.
which date are you talking about? The
January 16th was the first deadline.
Yeah,
He didn't meet the second deadline of
right.
February 16th.
I mean, my feeling is you have to do the February 16 deadline to start the penalty if you had extended and there wasn't any specific discussion that, penalty will still start January 16. So that would be my recommendation, is to start it with the February 16 date.
And then do we bill him monthly? And is there interest
Suppose.
on
I don't think there's interest. So you guys did this under the zoning,
Yes.
Interest is
Ordinance,
almost
right?
always thrown out in court,
so
from what I've read.
it's under the zoning ordinance, not the abatement of nuisance, correct?
I think so,
Is
yeah.
that how you operated?
I think that's what Matt was involved, so yeah.
Okay. So there's just a little bit different procedure, so I'll look under the zoning rules for the interest. Because Matt has a letter prepared to send to him, and he's sent that to me, so I will look at that, and if there's anything that needs to be changed with the letter, I'll let Matt know if that works. I'm more familiar with the abatement side, because I did that in private practice with cities than I am the zoning side. I know the rules are just a little bit different between zoning versus abatement of a nuisance.
So if he's gonna send them a letter, is the bill gonna be included up until that date that he sent the letter?
You could, yeah.
Because we'll have a month
Probably
and a
wouldn't
half's
hurt.
worth of,
I don't know who will be doing the billing. Is Carla doing it or is Matt doing it?
Matt,
Okay. I just don't know if he knows that. So I can touch on that. And so what I need to look at too, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this, is if the violations under the zoning ordinance, can that be taxed as a special assessment?
I would think it'd be attached to it, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure. I know the abatement can be. That's why I like the abatement procedure better than the zoning one. But
Can we pile him on if he hasn't paid?
say that again, sorry.
If he's not adhering to paying the fines or getting the work done, can we then go to the abatement?
Yeah, you just have to start fresh and follow those procedures. I know I had talked to Susan a little bit before you started the process, and I talked to her about abatement versus zoning, but then nobody ever reached back out to me, so I didn't know what you guys did.
Well, we did the other, so,
Okay,
but when you do the abatement, abatement, can you have costs incurred included?
Yeah, so like with the abatement procedure, you can actually go clean up the property yourself and then assess the cost of doing that against the property. Is that what you're
How
asking?
about the fines?
Yes, I believe you can.
Okay,
Yeah, I believe you can. I'll double check that, but I'm almost sure that you can.
all right.
And they're just taxed as a special assessment or whatever. But, and that may be true for zoning too. I just need to look at that more closely because I haven't dealt with one under zoning.
Yeah.
So we may be able to do that with the zoning one as well. I'm guessing we can't go in and clean up the property under the zoning, but maybe there might be something.
Well, if
there.
it comes to it, I mean, he's occupying it right now and using it, so it's hard to go ahead and clean it up.
Right.
If he's using it.
Right.
Those are more of abandoned properties.
Does he live there?
There's an office
Okay.
with a bathroom.
He lives, I thought somebody said he lives in Hancock now or something, or another.
Well, yeah, the address that the building goes to now is Woden,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
even though he owns property in what, Osceola County or something?
yeah. And
That he
there was another house up that way to the
Yeah.
northwest somewhere that he was
Merle
in.
Broadbent's old place.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's where the burn, or all the tires were or something.
Yeah. We're gonna keep track of that one too. Do you have any questions on this, Susan?
No, just an encouragement of getting it moving quickly. A lot of those neighbors are anxious to see what action we're taking.
Hopefully he can get something sent to him this week. And
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm in trial all day tomorrow, but Thursday I should be free to look through everything. I'll try to look some stuff up today
so
too.
do you think that he'll send that in the form of a letter with a number, how much we've accumulated so far? And
That's what I think should happen. Yeah, I don't think that was in his letter so far, like the actual amount. I think he copied you in on that, but I think it was just that penalty will begin from February 16th or whatever the date is.
Bill, I kind of don't feel comfortable with just sending a letter again. Is there some way that we can have it delivered so that we know that he's received it?
I think
You
she
have the
was
sheriff's
gonna have it
office
served.
yeah, it's gonna be served.
which
Good. Okay.
would be
Thank you.
safer anyway.
Which then they gotta find him,
Yeah.
but,
But if he's working up there,
well, yeah, I mean, so, yeah. So, in theory, we could end up with this property, right? If he doesn't pay the taxes, doesn't pay the,
fee.
Well, so that's what I have to look up under the zoning is if we can assess those fees. But yes, if they go unpaid, then it should follow the normal
It'd be
tax
like
sale
not paying
procedure.
taxes
For how
in a
long?
sense.
Say that again.
Is it like for 90 days or is it for?
Before you can assess them to the property or when they're unpaid? When they're unpaid, it's just, I think, the same procedure as normal. Isn't it 3 years for the tax
Tax
sale?
sale.
Yeah.
So, if you end up with a piece of property, do you end up owning what's on the property?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's because he may just let the property go and just keep hauling stuff out or
Oh, sure.
whatever, you know. it's-
Up until, yeah, he'd probably scramble at that point to clear off the property and get all his valuable stuff off.
Yeah. If there aren't any methods under the zoning ordinances to go in and clean up the property, then that's why I thought abatement would be the better route in the first place, is my recollection. It's a little more involved process, obviously, but
Well, I think we can just do it in a step process and go with this and see where it takes us.
Okay,
has there been any progress or,
he's hauled more stuff in from what
Okay.
the other reports
It's
are
just a
from up
constant flow and
in and out? Yeah.
there. So he hasn't, in theory, at least hasn't made any headway. He hasn't hauled any more out than he's hauled in, so.
Sure.
So is there action we need to take then? Do we need to
Have you
direct?
taken any action to start the penalty?
What was that
Would you have
motion
taken
we
that
made
originally?
before to go ahead and assess the fines?
Yeah,
Dollar
yeah,
amount
but
per
the
day?
only question is when they started from, because
Yeah.
we
Okay.
okayed the fines, but we didn't know when it would start
Should
from.
we make a motion to define that?
It wouldn't hurt to start them on February 16th, or I think that was the date.
Susan, you wanna make that motion?
I will. I'll make the motion.
Okay, so Susan made a motion to assess the fines to Roger Cruz starting February 16th. I'll second the motion.
Motion from Smith and a second from Derby to start the fines for Roger Cruz, on February 16th. All in favor, say aye. Or
Aye.
do I have to say retroactive to February 16th?
Well, we already made a motion to proceed, we were just
Yeah,
defining
yeah,
what
that's
it
true.
was.
Yeah.
So that passed.
Yeah, did we say all in favor?
We did, but then you started talking
Oh.
in the middle of the yays.
Okay, all right, well, we all yayed then.
I didn't hear any nays because you didn't ask for them.
Any nays? Okay,
Motion carries.
as soon as I think of nays, all I can think of is young Frankenstein.
Well, I think that's all we had for you, wasn't it?
I think so. That's all I was told about it.
Okay,
Well, I'll look into both those things and go from there. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Wish me luck for the rest of the day. They're kinda,
Who, these two?
Yeah.
A little feisty?
yeah.
Good luck.
Well, you're lucky I'm not in my pajamas, we had to start so early.
Tell me about it.
Julie has joined.
Okay, let's see, Scott Miners, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters. I gotta pick it up, right? Yeah, I can't remember.
Doing the best I can. I did send him a text last day. It was a screenshot of my notification, text Bill to set alarm. Thanks, tell me.
But he's not answering. But he was so bold as to not say, set your alarm, but the meeting's at 8:30. Now that was a big assumption that might happen.
Tell him, just put his big boy pants on.
Yeah, really. They don't seem to fit very well.
Can you call Becky then, or?
Yeah, I guess I could try calling her.
Yeah,
She
look that up.
is 75,
She is 32.
75, 32.
Or not.
Good morning, how are you guys?
Good.
Could be another nice day.
Well, it ain't real
Yeah,
warm.
is Scott around down there?
About
ain't
10
snowing.
degrees below normal.
Yeah, but it ain't snowing. So
We are ready
It's
for
gonna
him.
get worse tomorrow.
Setting up.
50s by the weekend.
We'll move on and try and figure out something else to do. All right, thank you. Yeah, bye. Okay.
Was he around?
He's on the phone.
Well, we wanna get Chris in here on,
Yeah, I was
no,
just
that's
gonna say.
9:30. We got along. You
Yeah,
got-
no, I was gonna say, unfortunately, we can't move that 9:30 up.
Yeah, my brother's coming with all the paperwork.
No, that's not here yet
No,
anyway.
he ain't here yet.
You can do the
So anyway,
Pilot.
Payment in lieu of taxes.
Oh, is that, oh, here it is, Tip. All right, discussion with possible action, pilot in lieu of taxes waiver request.
It's actually payment in lieu of taxes, but I had Chris put it on the agenda, so.
Oh,
So this is a request from the North Iowa Regional Housing Authority that we get every year, as in, they are technically a nonprofit, and they would like it, and they always ask for their taxes to be waived, I suppose. See,
Morning.
all right.
How's it going?
you wanna look at it? We approved it it every year in the past.
Yeah.
They work with the low-income housing. So I'll make a motion to approve the waiver request for the payment in lieu of taxes.
I'll second it. Motion from Derby, and second from Jensvold to pass the pilot in lieu of taxes waiver request. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All these signatures, mine here, is that it? Yeah, I, as a representative of Winnebago County Supervisors, assume that's,
Yep, that'd be you.
Pros. It's really shaped up well, really. There's no rock out here, I guess.
and then I witness.
Just do a check mark there.
They ain't making a mess in my garage anymore, so that's good.
There you
And then
Wife's not complaining, so that's good.
print your
Mama's
name.
happy, everybody's happy.
And title.
Yep,
There's all kinds of trouble.
that's a good one.
That was, yeah,
My service
yeah, it's backwards.
So,
Especially level Bs.
I don't think I've
We're
ever
really
done
trying
that.
to get like out there and clean them off before it ties up, but they're so frozen.
always on.
Is that me again?
Yep, and that's your signature.
Say what it is.
I don't know.
And then today's March 28th.
I can't walk. That'd be fun.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Scott Miners, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
I don't have much today, other than I was gonna see if you had looked at that driveway we talked about.
I did.
What do you think we ought to do there?
I can see letting him widen it, but if I were him, I'd move the pole anyway. It only costs $1,500. And then he wouldn't have to widen the driveway quite so far out to the east.
But I would think too.
I mean, I wouldn't want the pole there either way, it's still, and then he doesn't have to, he said, go 70 feet to the east of it or whatever he was talking about.
Yeah, I kinda stepped the driveway off and it's already at 93, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he can get out of the driveway with a semi if he goes to the west. He just can't make it to the east, which is the way he wants to go, because that's where the bends are, because of the pole. And I can see where you would want it slightly wider, because it's not a lot of extra for a semi, the way it is. I mean, yeah, you can do it, but if you get a rookie driver, sometimes guys that end up driving grain trucks during the fall don't have a lot of experience. And you could end up tipping one over, but personally, if it was me, I would have the pole removed and then widen it slightly. And I don't have a big problem with it, widen it slightly, I guess.
Is that an electric pole or that has to be?
It's a power pole, yeah. Heartland has said it'd be $1,500 to move it. So,
Okay. I had the impression from him, like, he doesn't wanna move the pole and would just like to have basically two driveways connected together with a pole in the middle. And so I guess I'm wondering if that's acceptable and we wanna write up a permit for that, or if we just wanna give him the 45 feet and make him move the pole.
I'll talk to him.
Sounds good. If you want something on the agenda for next week, just let me
I'm just
know.
asking why he doesn't want to.
Sure.
I can't believe that, maybe these guys own a truck and fill or whatever he's gonna make it out of, so it don't cost too much, but if you were hauling it in from somewhere, it wouldn't take long to get $1,500 for the truck, you bring it in that much fill.
Right.
Is there a line of sight involvement there, or?
No.
All right, I'll talk to him.
Okay. Really all I got. for our department.
A lot of freezing and thawing on the roads.
Yeah, I think it's helping us, and they're definitely a lot better than they were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they were. We drove on them a little bit yesterday with the trucks.
Yeah, the rock roads are a lot better. The gravels, at least they have a base in the center of them, and the gravels are pretty soft on the edges still on the gravels.
There was, I got to tour the gravel roads twice yesterday. I took the grain cart out to Freesburg and Larson, and then I took the tractor all the way down south of Buffalo Center. Drove on gravels with that, and then I also ended up blowing a tire on my truck over at Thompson Seed Farms. Delivered them some beans, and then I drove really slow on the gravels going back there too, so I got to inspect them a little bit. The ones that I saw the worst were the level Bs. There was most of there was a couple of spots like on 400 that were, there's a pretty good spot just east of Pat Conroy's there or whatever. For this time of year, it's to be expected, I guess.
Where in the world are all these people going on these level B roads? There is a ton of traffic out there, and they're cutting the crap out of states. Where are you going? What are you looking at? There's nothing out here.
Away from us.
Well, maybe you're
Is
right.
it four-wheel vehicles, or is it trucks, or?
Just pickups, cars, sightseers, whatever.
It's no different than my gravel road. It's like mine
Go
comes
nowhere.
to a level B and it goes nowhere. But
Right. People drive by.
all night there's traffic going past it.
Is there that many people that are out just boozing and cruising?
I don't.
It sounds like the sheriff's department is doing its job.
By the amount of beer cans that are laying beside the road. There's a few.
Maybe the sheriff's department should just do a survey.
Yeah, well, there's 4 beer cans right along the south side of my shop that somebody tossed out, so it's right there in Buffalo Center.
But those aren't the county roads, we'll go back to
Right,
that.
all right.
I realize it ain't what it used to be, still.
A little bit of spot loading too, I guess we've done, but not a lot.
I've had a few requests, wondering when you guys were gonna start doing some of that. And I said, well, I think you've done some, haven't you?
Done some. It just.
Yeah.
I mean, every time it seems like we try, and then the weather, the 10-day just looks
Yeah.
like crap. So it's just, when is it going to shape up, and when do we feel 100% comfortable that it's going to stick?
And I received one complaint where they didn't think they put the blade down far enough on the maintainer out on the gravel road. And I says, well, you want to pay for all that gravel they're going to put in the ditch? Put it down there.
Right now they're out. We're just trying to pull the loose stuff in on the shoulders and throw it back into a crown, get the wallowed out spots, get a crown back into it to try to help, but we're not getting really aggressive. And plus, right now it's hard too. I mean, it doesn't get to 32 degrees till noon today, so it's like concrete out there for a while. Doing our best to shave them off the best we can, and then all of a sudden it's nice blading, and some of those you get too soon, but trying to get out there as soon as we
So
can.
what's your plans this spring when it's time to pull the edges in, to get them to the width they're supposed to be? Or do we have machinery to chew that up? Or?
We got a new disc last year to put on the moldboard, and then we have our old disc still that goes on the front of the maintainer, and those will be mounted to start pulling and cutting the curb off and stuff like that. And it can only go on 2 pieces of equipment, so you can't get over the whole county at one time, but
Do we still have that pull behind disc?
yes, we do.
Is that any use anymore when we don't have anything to pull it with, or do we have something to pull it with?
We have, tractor pull with. Our plan for that, we're gonna do some road rebuilding and narrow some of those wide roads up, and where the shoulder just drops straight off again. We've got miles that we're planning on doing that again, but that's more of a June when it's drier.
That disc offset to the side.
No, just,
What reach past the tractor with.
it does just a little bit, not much. It's more for,
So you can't really run the shoulder. You lay that sucker on her side in a soft spot.
yeah, you pull it in with the maintainer
Right.
into the center and then that chews it all up.
Oh, okay.
Resurface the road. It's more of a rebuilding, road rebuilding tool than it is just
All right.
a shouldering machine.
Use it to bust up the clumps.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I was asking about. When you do pull that in, what's the plans for it?
that and then those discs are made for that also.
Okay.
We ran those discs last year. You remember if we ran it up your road?
Yeah, we did.
You don't get
They
near
were pretty
the,
good.
you don't get near the sod on the shoulder. It breaks it up a lot faster.
All depends on what kind of rain you get afterwards. If you get a good hard rain, boy, it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you get that slow, drizzly crap, then
Right.
there's no choice there.
Our plan is to get the discs on before the grass starts growing on the shoulder, just to minimize that sod out there too.
Did you say there was one on the front, one on the back?
One goes on the front of the maintainer where our V plows would hook up,
Yeah.
and then the other one hangs off the moldboard.
Oh,
Two separate machines.
Yeah.
okay. Anything else for secondary roads? If not, we'll move on to number 5, consider for approval employment contract for Scott Reinders, county engineer.
There you go, as you've seen it already.
So going forward, are we gonna just, this will be a yearly, or see, 1-year term, or what about the salary? Are we gonna just do that through budgeting, or are we gonna do it through the contract?
So the contract auto renews unless either one of us want to, talk about the terms. And the salary is just, approved through budget.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, I'll make a motion to approve the engineer's contract.
I'll second that.
Motion from Derby and a second from Smith to approve the engineer's contract. All in favor, say aye.
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 Is Sue Stamper around here somewhere so we can stamp her name on
Just have to do it later.
it? Okay, and we'll move on to number 6, consider for approval federal aid agreement for BRS CO 95, 79, 60, 95 local bridge E09W1.
This is the bridge on R20 north of Buffalo Center. And normally we'd have this done by now, but it got misplaced by the DOT. But it is for $400,000 of federal aid, which we will match with $100,000 of farm to market funds for a total of $500,000. Bridge replacement with a box culvert.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the federal aid agreement for the bridge listed on R20 by Buffalo Center.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensvold and second by Derby to approve the federal aid agreement for the bridge on R20 by Buffalo Center. All in favor, say aye.
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 This fall, possibly following spring. Might be, but it'll be bid out, so we'll have full control of the schedule.
Well, it's down there, all home beans, Fairmont, quite a bit. Hey, June, we got a bunch that goes up there, so we'll be done before you guys get to that.
Okay, consider for approval, temporary easement for bridge replacement, Buffalo Center Township, Section 9.
This is the fourth of four. All the easements will be now secure. Once the payment's made, we'll have possession. We'll be able to get the project led on time. So appreciate the help.
Called him up, told him our county engineer says you're a slacker.
It's tricky getting signatures from a lot of different people who don't live together.
Yeah, well, they're a fair distance apart and they're all, well, Verdine in particular.
Busy.
He's got 139 jobs going right now. He has a restoration business where they go in and do board ups after fires and storm damage and stuff. And getting them together on the weekends probably all right, but they had all to get together and have it signed by a notary. Getting them all to a notary is all four of them. Makes it a little, and you could have done whatever you wanted out there and they wouldn't have cared. But,
Yeah. Gotta do it the right way with federal funds.
You're right. About the time you don't, then you wish you would've.
yeah, there'd be some liability come up, I suppose. I'll make a motion to approve the temporary easement for bridge replacement, Buffalo Township, Section 9.
I'll second it.
A motion from Jeswald and a second from Derby to approve the temporary easement for bridge replacement, Buffalo Township, Section 9. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those are in there.
Yeah, I guess they're all yours.
Wait to bring Chris in, so you're not gonna have much for drainage anyway.
Wait to get Susan's
Wait to bring her
signature on
in.
that?
Yeah, till 25 after, so.
I gotta put mine on
Drainage,
too.
then go right into 9:30. Do some other things after it.
What are we gonna do in the meantime here?
Public hearing for election and
So I
for
need a
sector
notary
talk.
on that one.
I'll just go down to those.
This one?
No, that's just a signature.
Go to number 11, 12.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess those are some quickies. To say otherwise, getting Chris.
I'll take some.
Well,
There's not much there. She'd have to take it till 30.
yeah. Oh, she wants to be here for the 9:30 one, that's right. I get it now. I was gonna say we could have her in and out of here, but then she
Back
had to
here,
go
we
back.
can do too.
All right, move to go to number 11. Set the public hearing for election equipment.
So she's not here to tell us what date.
No.
What kind of a date are you thinking for the public hearing for election equipment?
Hold on just one second. Go to Supervisors, 4/18 at 9:15.
April 18th at what time?
9:15.
Okay. I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for purchase of election equipment for April 18th at 9:15.
Yep.
I'll second it. Motion from Derby and a second from Jeswald to set the public hearing for election equipment of 4/18/23 at 9:15. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Set public hearing for sector technology for new equipment for Sheriff's Department.
I have that one here too. Let me see.
And the purpose of these is because they're over multiple years, correct?
Correct. Did I not print that one?
Carl, I think we talked about the same date, the 18th.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know, I don't have, let me see.
That's what I remembered, but sometimes I don't always remember right, so
We don't know what time sheet.
I don't have the time.
I just need to pull up the,
Well, it won't be at 9:15.
it won't be at 9:15, I do know that.
9:16.
It will be at 9:30 though.
9:30.
And again, we'll be telephonic on that. We'll be at training.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for sector technology equipment for the sheriff's department, April 18th at 9:30.
I'll second that.
Motion from motion from Derby. All right, we'll get it out of there. And the second from Smith to set the public hearing for sector technology for new equipment for the sheriff's department at 4:18 at 9:30. All in favor, say aye.
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 14.
Go to open forum. Well, we're getting closer. We should have some of that, music playing in the background for you guys.
Just don't say tick-tock,
Oh, yeah, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, don't say TikTok, huh?
Yeah,
and they're listening.
yeah.
Completely different meeting.
But you know they're listening. So we had a meeting here where we discussed roll-off trailers, and the next thing you know, on my phone, I'm getting ads for roll-off trailers.
So I've been getting them
I'm
for
sure
a
it
long
was
time.
just a coincidence.
Yeah.
I Google searched one time and I get them all the time.
Yeah.
Talk about going on a vacation somewhere and see what happens. All of a sudden, it's like,
Oh, all this stuff is popping up just where I wanted to go.
no, you're not listening. Bullshit.
Oh, I should maybe stamp for this one. I guess I gotta do Susan's job.
Yeah. She's out in Colorado.
Granddaughter.
Yeah.
Gotta do that too.
Well, I would think that this would come about family, but
She's still here.
yeah, I know.
Beauty of,
I hear you guys. I hear you.
beauty of technology.
This is another one that won't take too long if you wanna do
You
this.
guys got all your stockpiles all filled up?
The Cassuth County.
Pretty quiet over there. Corey, I was home back yesterday, fixing the yard. Wasn't too many people in there most of the day.
We get most of it done before April.
Yeah.
No, we're sitting really good now. It's pretty good. Be nice if they weren't all froze up right now.
Yeah, I was loading 1-inch and south facing pile, so it's all thawed out. Pretty nice stuff.
Move on to the other.
Oh, really?
They were scooping some other stuff out that wasn't in the sun, and you could see the chunks of frozen. So
Okay,
if you're not trying to spread it, it's probably fine, but.
consider
if you're
for
trying to spread it,
approval
it's-
MOU with Cassuth County.
Yeah, so I'll just read some of the points they've got in here for our agreement. Number one, the applicant shall be employed by Winnebago County and the salary shall be set each fiscal year by the Winnebago County Supervisors. The applicant shall be reimbursed mileage for necessary costs in performing the applicant's duties at the rate set for Winnebago County employees by its Board of Supervisors. Mileage shall be paid by the applicant's base of operations. Allowed services costs to be shared include wages, county portion of FICA and IPERS, mileage, Winnebago County office expenses related to the advocate, expenses of the meetings with clients and necessary conference and training expenses. These costs, which is general overhead costs not attributable to particular clients, shall be shared by each party based on a population. If this agreement terminates, each county shall be responsible for its share of expenses incurred prior to the termination. Cassuth County, as part of the care connections of Northern Iowa region, will be billed monthly through claims processing in the care connections region. Cassuth County may terminate this agreement at any time, and this agreement shall be considered terminated at the time a permanent advocate has been determined and appointed in Cassuth County. This agreement shall take effect, and then there's a blank for the date, and remain in effect until terminated by any party as specified. Those are the specifics of it.
Try and find something to do until 9:30.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the MOU with Cassuth County.
I'll second it.
Motion by Genvo, second by Derby, to approve the MOU with Cassuth County. As read, all in favor, say aye.
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 Now we can go back. Chris?
Oh, all right. Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I don't have anything other than what's on the agenda.
Neither.
Thanks. Some of the ice dams must have cleared because it really dropped like in a day.
What are you talking about?
All the drainage ditches,
Oh,
they were like built up and all of a sudden,
okay, that's good. I know people are out trapping a lot of beavers, so hopefully the dams will go away too.
is it still season?
Must be.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I noticed on 140th, just around the corner from that, by that new hog site, on your family farm.
Yep.
There's a big dip there about that.
Yeah, above that pipe.
The blading will probably fill some of that in.
Yeah,
To slow people down.
yeah, it's like a hoochie guy right there in the middle of the road right now.
This is supposed to be.
Lives in the place, but just west of there on the south side of the road on 400, there was they got a bunch of signs in there.
Bunch of signs where?
Yeah, it's on 400, just a little bit west of Tom's.
There.
It looked like there was a very big hole in the ditch, looked like there was an intake missing.
This used to be the line.
I don't remember what avenues it was between, I
Does
forgot.
it have trail signs there then or something?
No, there's signs on their barn, like, what was the one? I can't remember.
Oh, our road signs.
Okay, yeah, they weren't road signs. Old antique type signs on
But it was on 400.
it. It's on 400, just west of Thompson, south ditch. There was a big, looked like washout hole there. I don't know if there's supposed to be an intake there, or whether it's just where the water runs in out of the field. And
They're digging.
Sure. Take a look at it anyway.
Because I must have.
I can't remember, it'd be
Because they have.
west of Kenny Locker's about
Some people have to fix those anyway.
a mile and a half or so, I suppose.
Before you get to Wendell's.
Yeah, it was before Wendell's.
So, this is already. This, we've known is there until later.
When you're driving a tractor, there's too much time in between.
Right.
Yeah, because it does work, just really, really slow.
The signs to see which roads it was, you forgot to learn.
There's another time it comes around here and hooks into this somewhere.
All right,
So
it's
there's
9:30
together.
AM. Jim and Ben Donchi to discuss with possible action abandoning part of DD 2-3 Lat 2B1 tile.
Brought you a picture.
Sure, we like pictures.
Yeah.
So what we got, this is Jim Renshaw's farm here.
Okay.
So, or Fred Renshaw actually owns it. We scoped this all out and mapped that whole tile all the way out last fall. We're good all the way to our line fence. So from here, comes over to this. This is supposed to be an open ditch. So when the farm got sold, this used to be the old fence line.
Yeah.
So then Renshaw's bought this side. Rusley's bought this side of it. So then the new fence line is here. They pushed that shut and put a tile in there. Somebody did, whether it was the county or who or whenever, yeah. So in between times, this tile got messed up after they put it in. So they had run a new tile, an 8-inch tile up to here and hooked everything together. Well, this is 10-inch coming into that. And then there's another tile that comes from around Renshaw's and comes in and ties in over in here someplace. We didn't follow that or find that or anything. So what we're proposing to do is cap that county tile off right there. Abandon our side of it because it goes all the way to there and stops. And there's nothing else hooked to it. And there isn't much for tile anywhere, and there's nowhere, this all sits in a bowl here, it can't go anywhere. I'm not sure how that ever even got to be a county tile to start with.
If it didn't
Somebody got pushed
function
through.
anyway, yeah.
Well, at one point it did, because it went over and dumped into this when it was an open ditch, so at one point it was working fine.
Yeah.
But it's all Renshaw's farm, so I'm not sure if that was installed when this was different, I don't know. But at this point, it's all from here going this way, because Renshaw's own this too, so it's all Renshaw's. And talked with the family, they don't care. What we're proposing to do is dig in a 15-inch dual wall tile all the way to this and hook on to that county 10-inch, and then continue on and find this other tile that comes across in 12-inch dual wall and hook that all up, create our own outlet.
All in private then?
Yeah.
So you're eliminating the whole thing or just this right here?
We want to just privatize this side of it.
Right, okay.
We'll just take it over.
So you put a cap in, disconnect it,
Hook it into
and
our
hook it
12-inch.
into the
or
new
15-inch.
private.
Yep, and take it to the ditch. There's 4 foot of fall between here and here.
Yeah.
Gary Helgeson will do the work, and he came out and looked at it.
So the biggest reason why we want to privatize it is because if we don't, someday down the road, Rusley decides he wants to do something with this side and repair it, then Renshaw's have to pay their portion because they're in the watershed. Well, we'll pay for it, do it all on our own, and then opt out of the county side of it.
Is that the way that would work? That's right.
Mhm.
We're thinking that's right.
Yeah, I looked at the code, and we have the petition that's signed by both of these boys. We would set a hearing, and then the public who have land in it, which is them and
So you'll
Rusley's.
notify them.
So it would just be the Rusleys that would
Okay.
have to come
Would
in
they get
and
a letter then?
object. So, and then we would have a public hearing for the 2 landowners.
So Renshaw's are affected too?
It's just the Renshaw's and,
So
The
those are 2
Rusleys.
landowners that are
Mhm.
affected. The
and they
outside
rent
ones.
from Renshaw's.
And I talked to Rusley on Friday and told him what we were proposing to do. Well, it does nothing but help him.
Yeah.
Relieves our water off of his side,
Yeah.
and he's all for it.
Yeah, it looks like the drainage is taken care of, so.
Yeah.
And they were just saying that that lat 2B that comes straight down that looks like a ditch is not really there. It's been
Not at
pushed
all.
in over the years, and there's a tile
From the fence line?
from the fence line down.
Yeah,
From
the
390th down.
Right there,
here.
yep.
Yeah.
So where it
There
turns, it
goes-
goes straight south.
Going south. That's
That
not a
is
ditch.
not, that's not there.
Just talking with Jim originally, that, it worked, it was fine. And then something changed, and he didn't know for sure what, and then now it doesn't work. So,
So if they
They've never
fill that
messed-
in without putting tile in,
well, there's tile in there,
Well-
they put a clay tile in there, but evidently that was big enough and it was sufficient and it worked. And then after that, it got crushed and broke or whatever, which you're down in the peat there, so
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
just
say.
a disaster.
You don't have 6 foot of cover, you're gonna
Yeah,
break.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's been fixed and repaired different. Gary Helgeson's was digging it up yesterday, is that right?
Yeah.
And there's an 8-inch that has been replaced and tied on and come up and hooked into all of this. Well, this is a 10, and there's an 8 that comes around here. So there's a lot of water that sits around Jim's house and then tries to feed down through that. It works eventually, but it takes about a week. So we're proposing just to hook it all to a great big tile and take it to the ditch.
So what's our process?
What did I have on the agenda? To just
So
prove it and
consider
set the
approval
public?
temporary easement.
Nope, that's not me at all.
Or no, excuse me, I got the wrong.
Yeah. So you can take the action to set the public hearing to, to take care of this. I would also suggest to reclass this district. For one, we don't have a classification on it at all, on this Lat 2B1.
There's not many acres to it.
No, I mean, it's just these two landowners, as you can tell, because all of the surrounding is Renshaw's. There's nobody else that would drain into that lateral.
Okay, so.
But we don't have a classification on it to know who would pay for what anyway.
So if Susan was gonna make a motion on this, she would move forward with setting a public hearing and start the process of reclassifying 2B,
But if you're gonna,
I know, I want to classify the whole district.
or the whole district,
Yeah, the whole DD2. We haven't done that.
okay?
We should have done it when we did the big clean out.
But that's
4 or
gonna
5
be
years
another,
ago.
that's gonna be another day we do that, then.
We can, but I mean, that's my suggestion to do that, but
But for now, we'd be looking for a
public hearing.
motion to set a public hearing for it.
I'll make the motion, set a public hearing.
And when would that be, Chris?
Oh my gosh, sorry. 40 days.
40 days.
For the last 40 days, 418.
Well, this is in the code, so I'm going with it. Not less than 40 days.
Yeah, 418 would be, so we got
33, so we're talking, I would say the 2nd of May. May
Okay.
2nd.
Okay.
You wanna make that part of your motion, Susan?
I'll make the motion to set the public hearing May 2nd.
May 2nd at, what, did you say 9:30?
I didn't say anything, so 9:30 is fine.
You said 9:30 since you made the motion?
he said that's only 35
Yes.
days.
Terry, wouldn't it be the 9th?
30? Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to change that, Susan. It's gonna have to go to.
Okay.
We're short a day or two. May 9th at 9:30, is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
I'll second it then.
Motion from Smith and a second from Derby to set the public hearing for abandoning part of DD 2-3 Lat 2B1 tile at May 9th at 9:30. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. And guys, we're gonna do the reclassification another time then?
Yeah, because it's not on the agenda.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Sure.
So I'll mention just something to think about on this. We'll have, County Road is one of the parties that drains into this tile.
Yeah.
And then,
Nobody from the east. On the east side of the road, nobody actually uses
It
it.
goes nowhere. We follow it all the way up till it stops, it basically stops in the road ditch.
drainage just out there. Land that slopes to that,
Not really. I don't know how they only got it all the way pushed over there. Somebody else paid for it, I don't, good job, whoever did it,
We'll look at it a little closer, I guess, but, if,
So you guys should get a notification.
yeah,
Well, okay,
in,
I don't have a classification, so I'm just going with what.
in general, if there's multiple parties that drain through a tile, you know, we would not support abandoning it, but if what you say is nobody else drains into it, then that's kind of different stories.
Well, you're improving
Yeah,
the fact with this one by
Yeah.
tapping
Right now, it
into
really
a
don't
new
work.
tile.
yeah, it's
So
gonna,
it's
it's
still
gonna
gonna
dump
be
into a new private tile that's gonna take care of the issue, so you actually, your drainage will improve on 230th anyway. The other one will basically stay the same or better because it's not gonna have as much flow.
I understand that.
And Renshaw's owned to the east side too,
Yeah,
so he's still the same landowner.
my only question was like in the future, if the two parcels sold separate and then the other person ties into it.
But the tile is already existing,
Right.
so
but
it's
you'd
no
be
different
making-
than if the private tile comes from me onto your side, that you can hook to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says you can't, because the tile is there.
It all works out really well if everybody's neighborly, you know?
Right.
Well, and I told them too, to make sure that it's in people's abstracts to know who, that it's abandoned or whatever, and,
I think it needs to be recorded
yeah, so.
at the recorder's office.
We'll take a look at it.
I also think that it needs to say, I just think of the Egasol situation
Mhm.
where the parents all die and then the kids all fight.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying you guys are ever, like,
Right.
just think of the next generation.
we don't
Well, I think
And
But
that's.
at this point, it becomes, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, it becomes a private tile. Once the private tile crosses the fence line, that's, I mean, this becomes, wherever it comes into this farm is owned by this farm. So that's an outlet to them no matter what happens, which they can't, there's nowhere to hook to go anywhere there anyway, but
Unless later on it gets smashed and you guys don't fix it.
But it's a private tile downstream, you have to fix it, right? Isn't,
Not
is
if
there
it's
drainage,
private.
if there drainage laws that
I mean, you
read that way or not?
No private, we don't care.
Maybe it is the law, but you might have to sue somebody to get it done, you know?
But if it,
The drainage district has more tools for making sure that stuff happens
Yeah.
than private.
Private, we don't care.
So that's where I get nervous and
is
I,
there state law that sets precedence of it?
not in private tile. So
Really?
that's where I think, if there's something in the recorder's office that says that you have to keep this in good repair for the Renshaws and the, what was the other person's name?
Rustlers.
The Wresleys, so that both people constantly have good drainage, that's,
This is
But we're proposing to tie it off onto the Renshaw Farms only. We would have nothing to do with the Rusley side of it, nothing. Our main would come up on the west side, this would all tie into that main and go to the creek. From here going that way, I don't care anymore, that's his, and it goes that way, so he's got the outlet already. This is Renshaw's farm, and this is Renshaw's farm, so today, unless they sell this piece to another party and maintain that one, or this separates ownership, there isn't any issue back and forth. But this literally is a ridge all the way around this. There is no way for that water to go except down that tile, and there's maybe an acre that sits there, and that's the only water that can go that way. Otherwise, you're going uphill to get to it. There's another tile that goes on this side that goes down into this, which comes this direction, all private. So that outlet on this, most of this farm goes, some goes on this side of Jim's already, and then there's a tile that crosses the road here, and then most all of the rest of this goes through Bowles to the east. Which is not a good outlet either, but that's a different story. We gotta fix that too.
That's what we talked about.
All right,
Look at it.
well, thanks, gentlemen.
Okay, move to number 13, discussion regarding public health building addition.
You're welcome to stay.
Oh, yeah,
Getting
no,
pretty excited.
yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff to come yet.
I think I forgot to take that off, because I put on the closed session, so I don't think we really need to talk about anything there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's nothing new to,
No, I think I
Discuss.
just,
No updates?
I think I just forgot to take that off when I put on the closed session.
alright,
So that's it.
well, then we'll move on. Consider for approval contract with Scott Levin for rural recycling.
I am just waiting to hear back from Tim Missile about the insurance.
On our property,
Yeah,
okay.
well, and his insurance
It-
too.
It may increase because there's gonna be more traffic on it.
Well, not our insurance, his insurance,
Oh.
the insurance that's in the contract.
Oh,
So that's what I'm still waiting
The
on.
wording of the insurance in the contract,
What's that?
you mean the wording in the contract on the insurance?
Yeah, and how much and all that good stuff. So I'm waiting for Tim. So let's put this on for one more week,
okay,
because I still haven't,
it's one of our favorite footballs to kick.
I know,
Yeah.
it's great.
That way people can still keep asking us.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
No, I enjoy telling them.
Once they've figured out why.
They're all about saving money and still providing a service.
And
Also,
it's, all right, well then we'll move on to discussion of possible action, approval regarding Brody IT selling equipment.
I think so.
Man, I must have changed a tire on a semi yesterday. It had to have been the inside. You're up to bat.
What is it called? A hitch in his giddy up?
Oh, yeah.
I try not to move that fast when I get up.
Oh,
Easy into it.
I'm stiff. I'm not used to all of that.
I'm just here to say that we're posting more stuff online. We sold the last batch of stuff. A couple things didn't sell, but we're gonna do another sale so people can check it out.
Okay.
Any questions or you good? Good? Okay, sounds good.
So you don't need any approvals? Since
No.
it's possible
Yeah,
approvals.
yeah, possible approval.
I don't think we did that last time.
It was just a blanket equipment that he's.
Yeah, it's just we're providing notice to the public that we're gonna be selling
Okay,
equipment.
so the next batch is gonna have what type of equipment in it then?
This one is it's gonna go live at noon today. It's mostly networking equipment, a couple printers, a big bundle of computers. Last time 2 people bought all of the computers. And they said that normally people sell them as a bundle and they go for more money. And since county people didn't really seem like they were interested in buying them individually, then I just figured I'd bundle them and sell them.
I imagine they're harvesting some of the recyclable products in there.
I asked a couple of the guys, one of them said that they were gonna basically re-image them and sell them
Okay.
as refurbished. And I guess I don't know the rest of it. One of them, the working scanner, I'm sure they're either gonna use or sell on eBay for more than they bought it for or something like that, but, yeah.
It's fine. It takes more work to do that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
All right, thanks.
Bid early and bid often.
Yeah. Consider for approval county claims.
It's more the, we're a week ahead of the normal, this is just.
No, yeah.
They got those tails by Tom's.
telling you to come over.
I just saw Julie in the hall, because they're getting close, so I was like, I'll head over, I walked. She went here, so
To add all these up. See how many there were. So we've got 8 there, I've got 4 here, and 12.
This is different. There's 14, 17, 21.
Did you add these 4 then?
No.
Okay,
So there'll be
25. 25 tails.
Payroll. Do you want me to get your stamp?
I could probably write it too.
You got these 2.
Oh, yeah, all right.
I'll make a move on there when she comes back.
Yeah.
Don't want to work without her.
I think we're trying to get away with something. Just doesn't seem like there should be 25 beavers around here. Howdy.
Howdy.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you? You're hopping along.
2 shoes, 2 crutches today.
There you go.
I had 1 shoe, 1 crutch yesterday. So it's getting there. Best decision I made.
What'd they have to do?
Cut your fascia.
Oh,
Cut it.
sounds very painful, but if it's gonna help you in the long run, that's good.
The only thing that's painful right now are the stitches. They're irritating. I'm ready for them to come out. So. Oh, hey, I just got your text.
I know. Carla, do you want my cell number so you can text?
That might be a good idea.
I walked in here, I just got it.
I told her we ran into each other in the hall while I was getting heading to the bathroom, and you were like, head over, it's getting close. So.
Let me see if I can figure out how to, okay, hold on.
You're fine. Us old people take a little longer to get this stuff done. My teenagers are like, shh, shh, just do this, Mom. Not teenagers, my daughters.
I'll let you do it again so that you don't have to say it for you too.
Okay.
Because we don't want that.
I'll make a motion to approve the county claims.
I'll second it. Motion Derby and second for Gentle to approve the county claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Now, if I'd have told you 10 o'clock, it would have been 11.
Mm-hmm.
I know, that's fine.
It was going like that. Thank you.
No, it was fine. I was in my office. I couldn't get these records to scan. I was getting so frustrated. Finally realized the file was too big and then got it in. I had just hit submit on the claim and then he said, head over. And I was like, well, that was good timing.
I was listening. Well, I'm still listening. I did not hook up to my office. So. And I just saw Steve leave and I was gonna flag him down. Okay. Was Steve supposed to stay here too?
Yes. Yeah, he's been here all meeting. and
Oh.
then took off.
He even stayed through drainage.
Yes.
Well, then
Well,
when
that's
Chris,
the most exciting part of the whole meeting.
well, when Chris said there was no drainage, I went, oh, we gotta get over there because it's gonna go fast. Because I knew number 13 was nothing, so.
Do you know that the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish is hiring bear huggers to cuddle baby bears while their mothers are hibernating?
That That's amazing.
There's a part of me thinks that's really cool, and then there's another part of me like,
You know, I just don't wanna be the one where mom happens to wake up.
that's exactly.
You know, I mean, it's just like, how come I envision that in the news, and there'd be tragic news that some
Yes.
bear hugger got mauled?
Yes, that's what my immediate thought was.
Tree huggers have the experience to do that.
Well, at least trees don't attack. Usually, no branch can fall off and hit it, I guess.
For some reason, it just seems like there's 10 times more paperwork today to stamp. I don't know why that is.
Probably because you're double stamping.
Because it's not my turn.
I know.
Yeah, but you're enjoying that authority. You gotta see how they were flicking the wrist like Mike used to do.
She's probably working just getting that grandbaby out there. Enjoying her morning coffee.
Do you have a report, Susan?
Pardon me?
Do you have a report on your visit out there? Julie was
Oh,
asking.
well, right now there was quite a snowstorm. I'm on the road outside of Denver going east, and I've seen 3 semis in the median, and looked like a rolled pickup, and a car on the eastbound facing the wrong way.
Oh my.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
I don't think
but
I know how
right
to
now, that actually happened earlier. Right now, it's beautiful, sunshine, blue skies.
What's really fun is when you get to watch them end up in that position.
Oh, yeah, no thank you.
I've seen it many times over the years.
You heard there was more drainage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Good, how you doing?
I will make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I will second it. A motion from Derby and a second from Genzel to approve the payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Well, then, we'll move on to number 20, workman's compensation meeting. All department heads are representative required. Looks like we're a little short here yet.
Recorder.
Chelsea is coming. She's the one who's doing this. Let's see.
And road department.
I think it kind of snuck onto the agenda and a lot of people weren't aware of it.
You could call the recorder. Or should I run down?
Maybe she did.
She went to her office.
Oh, okay.
Just use your mom voice.
Huh?
Just use your mom voice.
See, my dad, back when I'd stay out all night, and the later I stayed out, the earlier he got me up the next
Oh,
morning
yeah.
to start planting. So he'd just barely whisper up the stairway, and I'd hear him every time, no matter how tired I was, because I knew it was important. You didn't have to yell.
You're already awake, no one of us.
Yeah, you're subconscious, you were just waiting for it.
Yeah. That's because you probably just got home.
And to this day, I still get up at 3:30, 2:30, 4:30 in the morning. And I never have an alarm clock. I can set my alarm clock to get up at 3 o'clock to go on a flight or something. And I always wake up 5 minutes before the alarm clock. Just automatic.
Short staff.
Yeah, I know. We're busy too. There's two more things for you to stamp, and then Colleen is calling the department heads that aren't here.
Okay.
I don't know where Kelsey's at with court, she's kinda in and out there.
While we're sitting, are you doing the LATCF report?
Already done.
Okay. Now, is that just for the 2022 allocation? Have we gotten the 23 one?
Oh, Julie, you might have to help me. Have we gotten 100,000 or we've just gotten 50? I can't remember.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Okay.
I know we've gotten 50. I'm not sure if we've gotten 100. I can't remember.
And then did we allocate just the first 50 or did we allocate all 100?
I don't think we have decided for sure what we're doing.
Well, the first 50, I know we talked about for drainage.
We
Because
talked
it's
about it, but I don't know if
kind
we
of in
actually,
place of when the federal government doesn't pay their fair share.
yeah.
Kind of replaces the pilot that way.
And Chris looked into that and she said, I'll have Chris come and talk about it again, but I don't think it's,
Not possible.
well, I don't think it's very much. It's,
Yeah,
so,
she did mention that before. But I suppose we have to report that's been spent.
yeah. Well, we haven't spent any yet, so,
I know, but then they can't just sit there.
right. But it did say that, I don't know that there's really any, like, time limit on that money either.
Oh, okay.
There was some kind of a hitch where we could only use it on the drainage, like once right up front, if I remember right.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've looked at that again, so I'll do some more
Guessing
digging.
it can't sit in those drainage accounts or something.
Yeah, there was something to do with that.
Yeah. I'll look again and we can talk about it again. Do you want me to put it on the agenda?
Yeah. Or we could just discuss it during drainage. Drainage and
Hi, Susan.
So you're leading the meeting then?
Nah,
You wanna switch seats? I can flip that back up.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfectly comfortable.
Missing anybody?
Everybody can see me.
Other than,
I think Robert, she called Robert. I don't know if he's coming or not, so.
he isn't here already, it may be a few minutes before he's here. Unless he's in the building for some reason.
Probably not.
Yeah, I've not seen him.
I haven't seen it.
You wanna talk about the KOW thing? That's a little less important than the
Do you want me to
workman's
see
comp.
if she got a hold of him?
Sure,
Yeah, we could talk about KOW.
yeah.
I wasn't aware we had a bulk thing.
No, me either.
Well,
Me either.
we don't right now. Carl just approached me last week and asked if we were interested, and I said, I don't know. I don't do enough ads by myself. You were the one who did the most ads.
Yeah, and I pretty much stopped doing them. Just because they're expensive, and for the first year, they were really effective because nobody knew. I was new at the job, that it was now 40 hours. But by the number of my cases, I think people know now. Plus, I've been doing some community stuff, like going to VFW breakfast, and that just seems pretty effective, and it's free, to just informally see people. So I think the last time I did anything was like August or September. And this not a good use of my budget right now, so.
Well, if she's not gonna do them,
And I didn't know that you could do them. I have a grant that I could use, so we might wanna talk about that. The state grant does pay a little bit for the media. That's part of one of the new regulations.
Like
And
how
I'm
much?
actually doing the RFP right now on that, and I can add that in there, so. we
Like,
wanna-
for like PSA announcements or for
Mhm.
job?
Yep.
So if we
Yep.
used a bulk of them for that, and
Yep,
then
'cause then I
had
can
some
do-
here and there to fill in the rest.
Yep, I could do, some of that, yeah.
I mean, I sure could throw some in. I have information I can
So,
share.
the RFP just came out yesterday, so let me read it and see what it goes and see if we can maybe correlate that with.
So how would we, is that a one chunk pay or is it monthly or?
What's the
Yeah,
terms of the contract?
yeah,
Did you get my question about if we run 200 ads and we have a 400 ad contract, if we pay for 400 ads, that seems kind of dumb. And without the VA ads,
Yeah.
we were only at less than 200, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, and Troy Thompson wants me to come to, he's got like a studio, and we're gonna just do radio PSA ads, which are free, and then he's gonna give them all to KIOW. Now, we can't control when they're, broadcast, but they do support us pretty well, so hoping to get in that lineup. And so that's what we were planning to do, because it doesn't take any of my budget. So, like I said, I don't feel the need to use a bunch of the ones that they're offering.
and I didn't really look at that, cause it just,
When I hired, I only did it on KIOW, and Carl wrote up what I kind of wanted, and he did an excellent job, but it was about $475,
$489.60.
okay?
Yeah.
And it was very effective. Carla and she said that she'd had very good luck doing it that way, and I don't know that, I mean, people listen to the radio, papers anymore. I guess, but that's the only time I've ever advertised, I think.
When you buy those ads, does it also go on their social media?
I don't know.
I have not
I don't
seen
think
them.
so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but, I guess I also, Facebook personal on my personal page, and then the county, and
They don't, I don't think, do any marketing for third parties, like through their own Facebook page. It would just be their ads.
I was wondering
On the radio.
about on their website. When I go and bring up live streams, there's ads there. I don't know if that's a separate ad from what you're buying to put on the radio, or if it's just tied in.
They have never mentioned that to me.
Yeah, I think it must be a separate ad, because I've never seen any of my ads, and I was doing them monthly the first year that I was here. So I don't believe they put them on their website.
I agree it's a good value, and we'll have maybe 3 or 4 jobs to post this year, guessing. But it still doesn't add up to 400 ads probably.
No, because I only advertise in December and March for taxes. That doesn't pay me.
and I didn't know that we could put to hire, so we did paper, so. But if this grant will let me do that, that would be good.
Yeah, if we just had a pocket of them at all of our disposals and kind of loosely disperse them amongst.
What's the lowest again, Carla, what was it?
It's 400
Spots?
spots. And total cost if on contract. $4,446. But I don't know if that's the 468 that we had. Cause the cost, of our 468 ads was 4,622. So he's saying the 400. So he doesn't actually say like 400 ads are this.
How many ads did we run?
468.
Okay, so that's like $9.87 an ad.
And that's probably
Just
just for weekdays.
Just
What are-
doesn't
what are
save
they
a lot.
normally?
Just doesn't seem like it saves enough.
Well, if you don't use it, then you're paying for something you're not.
Especially.
Yeah,
The only
so
way to
ads-
make that valuable would be like for me or Julie to be running 4 and 5 ads a day. Because when I paid for it out of my budget, I could only afford 2 ads 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, because the weekends are really expensive.
I wonder if you buy the group of ads, you get priority for better spots. Whereas if you're a last minute one, you might get something that's in the off hours or something.
I had a
How many
morning
regular-
spot and then like an afternoon spot.
How many regularly priced ads would it take to get up to that price? I mean, what are they? If it's 9 something through this contract, what is it done for now for just to run an ad?
Say that again?
What is the, like, if you're gonna run an ad, what is the price right now? I mean, he had about $10.
Depends on the number you run apparently.
Yeah, so like if you do 51 ads, it's $9.60 per ad. I did 30 ads for something and it was $11.10 per ad. And then if, like Julie did 18 ads for taxes and it was $13.40 per ad.
And I think it goes by how many minutes you're,
Yeah, how long your ad
yeah,
takes.
so
I
if you
assume.
have it 15 minutes, it's one price, if it's 30 minutes, it's another price. Or 30 seconds,
Seconds, yeah.
yeah, 15 seconds.
I was gonna
or 30
say,
I was gonna say,
That's a lot of
you
info.
talk for 15 minutes,
Yeah,
Julie?
I'm out
Like an
for that one.
infomercial.
Yeah. But 15 seconds or 30
So
seconds.
even at the regular price, we would have to run a lot of ads in order to get to that 4,000.
Yeah.
But you could still do yours on your application and utilize it. I don't think we have to have a contract for it necessarily. So is that the consensus then?
Yeah, I think we could use that money in a better
Yeah,
way.
They'll want a minimum, but we probably need half of that.
Well, we just don't know on a yearly basis what we're gonna need.
Right.
Maybe it's something to continue to, watch every year,
Mhm.
and then when we get to that, or,
I mean, if you're a business that has ads on there all the time, I can see what the package would be all right.
oh, yeah.
If you're sporadic as we can be, it's
And then the other part is if you have a contract, then you've gotta, do, like we do with, I suppose, the, paper and things like that, where you have to have cost allocations, and it gets a little more complicated that way, doesn't it? Whereas if the ad is taken out by the department, it's pretty simple.
Mhm.
okay. Is anybody else coming or?
No, she said she left a message for Robert and he didn't answer, so.
All right. Kelsey's in court, so.
Okay.
Okay, well, I met with Scott with IMWCA a couple weeks ago, and I just wanted to touch base with everybody and just kind of lay out what we talked about. I'm sure a lot of it's been said already, but just kind of a couple of reminders. So first thing, the company nurse reporting incidents, and everybody's been really good at this, so I'm not, trying to bash anybody about it, but even if you think it's insignificant, just call them anyway, because then it'll just be on record. So hopefully, if it's minor, it stays minor, since they know about it, doesn't get to anything bigger. Because the calls itself don't affect claims. So I mean, if you call and it turns up as nothing, it doesn't cost any money. We talked about seatbelt policies, we have one. I sent you that thing, but, he just wanted to make sure that ours touched base about on and off-road vehicles, probably just for like you guys conservation. So like ATVs, or I don't know if like your graders or any of that have seatbelts.
All of them would.
Sit where there's a seat, because apparently he had some people that were injured, like sitting in buckets or, you know, that kind of thing that wasn't like a seat.
Awesome.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah, right? That's when I was like, whatever. Let's see. Always use gloves. So I'm assuming this would probably pertain more to Scott's for, I mean, like when you're cutting or if you're like doing any fabrication or that kind of thing. And he did bring up that the second most likely time to fall is in the spring when it gets warm and it gets cold and then it refreezes and everybody's like, oh, it's warm out. We're just gonna like walk normal and you know what I mean? So a lot of slips happen this time of year. He wanted to make sure, well, conservation is not here, but we talked about tick bites. He said to make sure to call if anybody has had one, just kind of, you know, that heads up minor thing. He talked about looking after each other to like lift together. So there's, you know, avoid lifting injuries where there's a lot of twisting and bending. And so if you can use teamwork on something heavier to save your back, that kind of thing. And this would probably be conservation and Scott. He did talk about seasonal employees. Even if you have ones that come back or new ones, either way, make sure to review the training. So your personal protection use, if you have that, safe operation of like your mowers or your certain equipment, whatever they're going to be using, what exposures they're going to come in contact to, that kind of thing. Let's see. He wanted to make sure that we knew that we are a productive member of our pool. So for us, I suppose that's a good thing, whether we're, you know, like right in the middle of everybody for numbers and work comp claims and that kind of thing. So he wanted to make sure I passed that
Productive
along.
means we're doing a good job,
Yes. Yep.
not like producing a lot of claims.
Right. We are productive, meaning that we don't have a lot of claims.
Oh,
Yeah.
it means they're making money on us.
Well, that too, probably.
This year.
Yeah, this
You never
year,
And our rates won't have to go up.
yes.
Say that.
And then, there is a website, I'm sure maybe some of you know about it, but, it's called IMWCA Learn. So we can set up all the department heads, and I think a lot of you are set up, whether you know it or not, but, you can set up and actually do like certain classes for your specific department. So like if you guys had a slow day, or if, you know, Scott or conservation or anybody had a slower day, they could be like, hey, I want you guys to watch this movie, I want you guys to watch this training. And it's just kind of another tool that everybody can use that I mean, it's free, so, I mean, if we can use it, we should probably use it.
I think even in the offices, there's stuff about like ergonomics and how to set your chairs and how
Yeah.
to rearrange your desks.
Will you send that email up to, or that web link out to us?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
So there's all sorts of videos, not just for
Right, not just
conservation and-
outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for office
Mhm.
employees also, so
Yep.
it's a good resource.
Other than that, that's all I got. That's all we really talked about, unless there's questions.
Do you wanna, since you've got the floor, just maybe interject about the nationwide rep?
Oh, sure. So Steve had brought to my attention that he was trying to contact Nationwide, and who we thought was our new rep, put in his 2 weeks. So now, was that his supervisor that you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
He put in there.
So Ronald Donald Regan, I think his name was. Yeah, Donald Regan was our nationwide for now until they hire somebody new. Once they hire somebody new and hopefully have somebody in that spot for more than a month maybe, we will try and be getting them back for in-person or Zoom calls for when we do those insurance meetings with like Brittany and Julie. So hopefully we will kind of get back into that routine again where he comes and talks about what they have to offer.
Yeah, he hasn't been here forever.
No.
Yeah, we used to have that Matt Ring, and I think
Yeah.
he went up the chain at Nationwide, and that's when the interim guy came, and
I think there's been a
Connecticut or
couple
something like that. Matt did.
Yeah, so hopefully, not promising it's gonna be this year, I guess, depending on who they end up hiring, but that's where we're at with that.
I had just expressed to him, I thought, we're probably a large enough account that we should have some FaceTime, and I said,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I told him that when I met him at ISAC in March, I said, you know, we'd really like to get somebody here. We have enough people that would really like to talk to somebody.
Right.
Mhm. And it's been long enough where
Mhm.
we have enough new people that,
Yeah.
right?
Me either.
Mhm.
a lot of our employees, you know, you give them a packet, and I think they just kind of bypass that piece of paper that you have in there. So I always make sure I bring it to their attention, especially the younger ones, that this is very beneficial.
Well, and it'd make a big difference if somebody could like face-to-face ask questions with somebody.
Right.
And somebody could explain it.
Yep, so hopefully we'll get another new person at some point.
Yeah.
I really didn't have the warm fuzzy when, oh, just call the 800 number and somebody will take care of you.
Well,
And you've got to
right.
give them your SOCH and date of birth. I don't like that.
Mhm. Yeah. Frustrating.
That's all I got. Yeah, and I will email that out to department heads then.
Perfect.
For that website.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Stand adjourned. What? Yeah, would you stand adjourned?